outro, everyone. Hello, everybody. It's time for the latest episode of the cheapest podcast with the boys and woman.
Back to audio only, baby. Woo!
Shut the hell up. Listen, have some stuff to do this week. We watched the final episodes of Shogun, and we watched a movie, Kiki's Delivery Service. So, let's start, like we usually do, with our box office breakdown. The movie that opened this weekend was Twisters, which is in my list. It is not in you guys' list. Is there any reason why you guys decided not to go with Twisters?
I have no interest in seeing Twisters.
Yeah, I underestimated the rednecks with this one. Is that offensive?
Yes, it's a little bit offensive, but
A little.
it's fine.
We can cut that out.
Also, just one last thing I have to say about the camera situation.
So, Twisters, back to Twisters. It opened with $81 million in its opening weekend. In comparison, that's literally in the middle of Dune Part 2 and Godzilla x Kong. However, what's interesting is that because of the box office rallying on Tuesday, it's the fastest live-action movie to hit $100 million so far this year. And it is in our top 10. The thing has been crushing it at the box office. And my theory, as well as your guys' theory, I'll say it in a less offensive way, is that the middle states feel seen by this film because it's actually taking place in middle America. Oklahoma. They play a bunch of country music in the film. I was happy when a Chris Stapleton song played, so that was good. I saw it. It was mid. I tried to make a review of it. It was... I had almost nothing to say. It was a boring review, and the movie itself is fine. If I'll cut it quick. If you like simple, generic blockbusters that don't try to move the mold, then you're gonna love Twisters. I'm just saying that. But I'm looking for a little bit more. 6 out of 10. So back to this box office story. It performing so well is, I mean, I kind of expected it because I had it in the top 10. A lot of people said, you guys said I was crazy for it, but I did think that the middle states were going to go see it, and they did. Again, it's fine, and Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a hurdle for Twisters to overcome, but it's already reached $100 million. That's more than the Fall Guy and Furiosa can say, so there's that. Any thoughts on this development?
On the Twisters development?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's a tornado. Oh my God! There's a second one.
We got twins. We got twins.
Twin-niters.
So there's like so many tornadoes in that movie. Like there's like 5 different scenes of tornadoes coming. It's a tornado epidemic.
They just got fucking actual news footage from
Oh yeah.
the past several years.
No, they filmed it. Fake. So, our top 10 as of now. Number 10 for at least another day is Furiosa, a Mad Max story. I mean, we'll give it its funeral next week, but it didn't do well. It's out of theaters. I mean, Ripperoni. Fuck you, Madison, for not going to go see it.
I'm offended.
Oh, you offended? I'm offended that you didn't go see the movie.
Fuck anybody that didn't go to see it.
Then we have the Garfield movie at number 9. It will be number 10 next week. I mean, I'll lose a point if it's out of the top 10, but I'll be happy. Fall Guy is at number 8, just barely ahead of Garfield, but it's out of theaters now. If is at number 7. Twisters is at number 6 already. Crazy. 5 is A Quiet Place Day 1. Twisters is already going to pass that too by next week. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is 4. Bad Boys is 3. Despicable Me 4 is 2. And Inside Out 2 by a landslide, by 2 times the amount, is number one still.
Wild.
Yeah, good movie. Despicable Me 4 is trash. And people like complain to me like the movie's actually good. No, it's not. It's commercial garbage. It's the McDonald's of movies. It's just junk. Okay? Eat somewhere else. Eat at Wendy's. The MCU. I think that's a good comparison there. But yeah, anything that you guys want to note about any of the top 10? Justin, you got a couple movies coming up in August. You got a couple movies up in August, Madison.
Still feeling pretty confident about my list.
Well, even Borderlands, bro.
I still have to watch all of the Planet of the Apes movies.
This new one's good. Not as good as the previous trilogy, in my opinion. So the new movie's opening this weekend. We got a big boy coming in, the Fabulous Four. It is not gonna do well. Hopefully, it's not gonna make the top 10. We don't need to spend too much time on it.
I'm not worried about it.
And then we got the actual big boy, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm gonna be seeing it on Sunday as of recording this, and then I'm gonna go see it again with these guys. Why you make that face?
I don't know how excited I am for Deadpool 3.
You didn't like Deadpool 1 and 2? I mean, this is Disney's Deadpool.
What do you mean 2 was?
Hey, I can't wait for Disney to make Deadpool.
I like the first one. 2 was
I actually like 2 more than 1.
How?
It's funnier in my opinion.
They stuck an electric cable up
I
Juggernaut's.
I don't give a shit.
I think the first one has a better story. But yeah, this is Disney's first R-rated Marvel movie. It's a risk. We'll see. It's gonna make loads of money. It's a slam dunk. I think Blade's gonna be the more of the risk. But yeah, it's gonna be in the top 10. There's no worry. It's just how much money it's gonna make in this opening weekend. It's gonna be the number 1 R-rated opening of all time. We'll see how high it gets. 200 million is the highest prediction I've seen. So if it gets up there, it'll be among like the No Way Homes, Infinity War of the world. So that's above Wakanda Forever and in Multiverse of Madness. So that's the current level that we're thinking of. And that's this week at the box office. We'll be with you guys next week with Deadpool and Wolverine talk, and also how it did at the box office. We get to share our opinion, though we need to figure out when we're going to see it and then when we're going to do this lovely little show we got here. So, we watched a television series. Unfortunately, procrastinated on that a little bit. I was feeling a little sad this week, and I just wanted to sleep. And
yeah,
as a result,
week, for whatever reason, was just not it in terms of watching.
And I was really excited to watch Shogun, so I was like, "Oh, I should probably watch that." And I did spread out Shogun, except for the last 2 episodes, and then I watched Kiki today. Yeah, my fault for that, but you guys are worse. I need to kick us all in the butt for this one.
Yeah, we watched everything
But
today.
I am saying it was a lot of media packed into 1 week.
It's 5 episodes, and
it was almost 7 hours, 6.5 hours of content.
7 hours.
If we spread it out, okay. It's the problem is that we procrastinated and forgot about it.
Yeah, I feel like if we split up Shogun one more time.
Nah, we got the first couple episodes. We see a little bit more of the show, and then we see the rest. I think because I don't want to spend like 4 episodes talking about the same show. We need some new blood.
Not Dexter, though.
Dexter New Blood.
Stop it.
Oh, I could have recommended that.
You can still, So we watched the rest of Shogun, episodes 6 through 10. And I'm going to let Justin start because I've been talking for way too long. And the sound of my voice when it comes to editing makes my brain hurt.
Shogun 9 out of 10 series. Really loved it.
Well,
No.
Well, thank you for that inciting opinion.
All right. Episode 6 through 10. A lot of stuff to unpack here. Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers for everything. Oh, I spit. God.
Gross.
Spoilers for everything.
Keep it in your
moving
mouth, buddy.
No.
Say it,
I'm
don't
Hawk
spray
Tuah.
it. Not Hawk Tuah.
I'm going to get my own reality TV show.
Do not spit on that thing.
Oh, God.
That's disgusting.
America keeps making the wrong people famous.
No,
Anyway.
No, she has personality.
Waging war.
What personality? Because she spits on dick?
No, the way that she said it.
No.
The way that she said it was funny, okay? Get a little bit of... And it's a funny thing, okay? It's a funny, awkward situation, and she handled it pretty funnily.
No.
Look, I'm not waging war on her like Justin, but I'm not
And also-
gonna praise her like Max.
It's so...
She's just kind of there.
I mean, she shouldn't be
annoying
getting
already.
movie roles in an entire reality TV show. It
Yeah.
should be just a funny little thing.
It's so annoying.
And-
It's like the meme was burned out within a week.
It was burned out within a night. To be serious, like the fact that she's getting all this stuff is ridiculous to me. But whatever. Back to Shogun.
Anyway, God, there was
October.
so much. Stop. Stop. Right fucking
Marco
now.
Hockfood.
This can be a running gag this episode.
I hate it so much. Swear to God.
Oh, would
hate
you
it
look at
so
that?
much.
Popular gifts. Shogun. It's the Slippin' Jimmy.
So, moments from these episodes that you guys want to bring up,
Yeah, let me just look
or
through.
do you guys want to go like a general like summarization of the basic events that happen in these episodes? We don't need
I'm
to
just
go
looking at the
in
episode
depth.
list so I can remember from episode to episode what goes on.
Oh.
Since I literally crammed all of these today. All right. So episode 6.
Was kind of the weakest for me personally because it was mostly focused on Ishido and Lady. I forget her name.
Ochiba.
Yeah, the main like sort of like end conflict of convincing her.
So I think episode 6. This is the one where they're basically trying to fill the spot left on the council
Yeah.
that Toranaga left,
Mm-hmm.
and they decide to take one of the best actors that they have for their stage performances, and they offer him the spot because he portrays their fallen lord so well in his acting. So he agrees to become a council member, and he agrees to vote for them to do the execution of Toranaga. So that's like a major thing that they have there. But interestingly,
Yeah, he gets murked.
yeah, so one of the other council members, I cannot remember his name.
It was Ishido, right?
Ishido's the one that's trying to
Yeah.
get Toranaga killed.
Yeah,
But
did
I'm
he do
saying-
it? Like order it.
He wants it to happen.
Yeah.
But there's one council member who ends up saying that he can't go through with this, and he no longer agrees with what the council is trying to do, because it doesn't seem like they're actually trying to serve their realm. It seems like they're trying to serve themselves to get more power. I can't remember what his name is, unfortunately.
Me neither. But the point is that he
yeah.
does get killed,
Yeah,
and as a result, they need to go and find yet another.
another new council member.
So the next episode is mainly about Toranaga meets with his half brother to try to forge an alliance because the earthquake from episode 5 destroyed his troops.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what an unlucky break for that.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's revealed that the half brother tricked him, and he is actually now the new 5th member of the Regent, and he has come to capture Toranaga, and Toranaga wants to just surrender peacefully because he doesn't want to break apart the realm.
He doesn't want to start another unnecessary war.
Yeah, and everyone is upset. John disrespects him.
People are thinking
Yabushiki
about...
is like, are you insane? Because now he realizes, well...
Now they're thinking about treachery, going behind his back in order to actually fight for a chance of survival.
Yeah, I mean, Yabushiki's like, damn, I can't play both sides anymore, because they killed his informant, and then
in the meantime,
Nakakado.
Yeah, so he is also on the side of trying to actually fight for their lives.
Oh yeah, I should clarify. It's
that's Toranaga's son.
Yeah.
But other than that, Buntaro has a very high suspicion that there was something going on between John Blackthorne, the Anjin, and Buntaro's wife, Mariko, who is the translator for the Anjin.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, something happened, but he doesn't know for sure.
And he does a lot in these couple episodes to drop his standings.
So he goes to Toranaga and he says that he suspects the Anjin of having those feelings towards his wife.
And he wants to kill him.
Yeah, so he asks to take his head. And Toranaga says, are you also implying that your wife would be allowing this to happen? Because then you would have to kill her too. So are you willing to kill your wife over these claims?
And obviously, like, the whole thing is that they just want to keep her alive to suffer. And he's like, but I love my wife. She would never do that to me. It's like, well...
Yeah, so then he's just like, man, I'm sorry, I disrespected you for even bringing it up. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for disrespecting you again. Because this is the 3rd time he's apologized for the same thing. He was supposed to say separated for 7 days from his wife. I guess he did. Time flies.
Yeah, during the show, there's like months that pass between everything.
But, this episode actually has something pretty massive. So, Yabushiki and Nakakado are essentially trying to take things into their own hands and assassinate the half-brother.
Yeah.
And it almost works. Nakakado has him in his sights. He's about to perform the final killing blow. And,
why don't you tell us what happens?
And he becomes Slippin' Jimmy. He does his old slip and fall routine, cracks his skull open on a rock and immediately fucking dies in the most embarrassing way possible.
Which is ironic because he's been, throughout the entire show, he's like, I want to fight, I want to get out there, and the first time he physically is able to do it, besides, like, doing an order to fire a cannon, he gets murked by himself.
I mean, look, say what you want about the kid, but technically he's got at least a dozen kills under his belt with that cannon fire thing from episode. What was that? Episode 4?
I think it was 4. Yeah. It was 4.
He's got at least a dozen kills with that, and then also when he goes to kill the half-brother, before he does so, he kills the guard that's standing outside of the...
I mean, you can't get more embarrassing than slipping on a fucking rock and busting your head.
He went out fighting, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Like, everyone says, like, I respect him for actually standing his ground. But I just find it ironic because everyone is like, death is such an important part of our lives. I want to have the best death. And he comes out with the worst death.
Well, when they talk about it in episode 8, Yabushige says, Yabushige specifically says, I would rate it lower than boiling alive, but higher than getting eaten by dogs.
I love how he states being boiled alive is a privilege.
Yeah, because they did that to one of the Englishmen in the very first episode.
Oh yeah, what a great death.
My favorite scene.
The next scene after that was your favorite scene. When Yabushige is like, I do not want pleasure. I just want to watch. Sneeko.
Sneeko!
In terms of what happens in these episodes, 8 begin with the flashback to Toranaga's first battle, or was that 9?
Yeah, that was 8.
Yeah.
That was 8.
No, that would have been
9 is Crimson Sky.
Yeah.
No, but the flashback to when he was a kid happened in 7.
Oh, 7.
Because that's when his half brother comes in and he talks about him being a kid.
Okay. Well, sorry, fans. All 5 of you. So in terms of that, I found that interesting. A little bit cartoonish. That have this child successfully lead a battle. But they also lead up to that later on in the show. I think it was in 9, where Toranaga reveals that it took him 8 swipes to get off this guy's head.
9 swipes.
Well, I'm glad that you remember that specific important number. And episode 9, specifically is about this plot to try to undercut Ishido and save their own skin. Mariko, John Blackthorn, and Yabushige go to Osaka Castle, and Mariko threatens to commit seppuku, but since she is, a highly sought out person, because she is friends with Lady
Ochiba,
because of their childhood together, despite, her dad killing her dad. Despite all that, Ishido is like, okay, you stay. You guys shouldn't have any problems. Also, she's a Christian, so the Christian people love her. And essentially, they're ambushed to try to kidnap her so they can kill John and Yabushige. But the issue is that they try to line the door with explosives. And Mariko, seeing an opportunity to ruin Ishido's plans, steps in front of the door. And this is after confessing her love to John. They finally embrace each other as lovers. I mean, fuck Buntaro. And right at the next day, she dies, right in front of him. How did you feel about Mariko's death? She's the first of a couple, really major. There was a couple deaths in these episodes. Obviously, Nakakata. His death.
Nikakato.
I'm sorry, my Japanese is atrocious.
Nagakado.
It's Nakakado.
Naga. Kado. Nagakado.
His death is very memorable. There was his older soldier commits seppuku. But Mariko's death is very important because it's a part of this big emotional center line of the show, and how John improves as a person and gets the motivation to become more Japanese. She dies, and everything starts to fall apart for Ishido in terms of his alliances. Everyone distrusts him now. The church allows John to leave because Mariko's last wish was for him to live, because she kind of knew that this was going to go down.
Yeah. So now we're into 10. So God, what was I just gonna say? I'm sorry.
We'll fix it in pre. Actually, would Madison like to say something? We're on the last.
We're on episode 10.
Yeah, I only cared about John. He had me kicking my feet and giggling, I'll be honest.
Okay, that's enough. Taking the mic away from We'll get back to your demented opinions later.
Demented.
God.
So, back to you, Justin. I had to clarify for our audio listeners.
Well, that's the only
Yes.
people that we got.
Yes.
That's the only people.
God. So after all that stuff happens,
So that just happened.
John is very. I mean, he has to go see Toranaga.
Well, there's a reason why he decides to go see Toranaga in particular because, well, he returns and there's like this big drama about Yabushige. He finally gets apprehended.
Yeah.
Because eyewitnesses there, like, were able to prove, like, hey, he feels guilty.
Yeah, they overheard him say, "Oh God, what have I done?" when Mariko got killed.
What a nice guy. Feeling guilty over his actions. I actually do kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, he was a little weasel.
Look, he kept trying to...
He kept trying it, and Ishida's like, hey, don't worry, your spot on the council is reassured.
He was literally the Benedict Arnold of this show.
He was amazing. My favorite character, because he was humorous. She's showing fan art.
I'm crying in the club right now.
She was showing fan art of what's
John and Mariko.
So what's the ship name for that? Blacko.
Jariko.
Doesn't he just call it the Black Ship?
What?
Oh, you mean the ship
ship
for the relationship?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about John's ship.
You mean the Erasus?
Erasus.
Shut up.
A racist?
The E-racist. He's only racist online.
There's a lot of racism
The E-racist.
in this show. On purpose, for reasons, because it's accurate.
Oh, man. Poor Yabushige.
Yeah, he's dead. That was a really good scene, though.
We completely skipped over another death that happened. Hiramatsu?
I thought
The gardener?
No, not the gardener.
His
Toranaga's friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Well, look, I'm very confused on the terms here because I know there's seppuku and then they also have arakiri. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know the difference.
Seppuku is like the official, like, you get set up, you do the blade to your stomach, and you're supposed to have a second person cut off your head.
Because he tells Yabushige that he wants him to commit arakiri, but then his thing is the same exact thing as how everyone else did seppuku.
I think it's because he's doing it in defiance. Well, in defiance, in quotes. Excuse us, we're trying to figure out the meaning of this execution method, or death method. And Madison's looking at more fan art.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So arakiri and seppuku mean exactly the same thing in Japanese, but Japanese people almost never use the word arakiri and prefer the word seppuku.
Well, there we go.
So.
But yeah, I was saying it earlier. I just forgot his name. But in the end of the day,
okay.
I mean, we also have some other scenes, like we see John meet up with one of his former shipmates, where he gets, a lot of the stuff that he caused thrown back at him, but also casual racism towards the Japanese.
Yeah. And actually, as he's walking down an alley to get to the bar that his friends are in, or whatever residence his friends are in, and he's at the very end of the alley, and he can smell them from there, and you can hear flies buzzing.
There's
and
only 6 of them
he's drawn back from the smell, and he's like, oh God.
They're just drinking piss.
Because you got to remember, when he first got there, he wasn't accustomed to how many baths the Japanese take. So obviously he would have had the same exact stench as all of his buddies.
Yeah. Yes, kids, take showers.
Yeah.
Or baths.
Why would I need a shower? I just had one 2 weeks ago.
Take a dip in the hot spring.
2 showers in 1 week. You're trying to give me the shit.
That was a funny scene in the hot springs.
What is it? What did he call it?
I don't
The
remember.
dips?
The dips.
But the last scene between Yabushige and Toranaga, I really enjoyed like the explanation of, okay, so his ship got destroyed and he's going through the village trying to expose the traitors. But he's using it as an excuse to like, okay, people destroyed your ship. But it's revealed in this conversation that he destroyed the ship to make sure John doesn't leave. Which, I mean, good, because Yabushige was ready to, like, full on leave the country as soon as they got back. Yeah. He was like, oh God, I've had enough. I gotta go. But, and him not revealing the rest of his plan. Like, oh yeah, the last thing you gotta think is, what is the rest of my plan? And then he has him commit seppuku. Which is sad fate for him, because he wanted to go out a warrior. And it goes out like that.
Well, I mean, seppuku is more of a...
trying to earn back honor.
Honorable, yeah.
And the show ends with John trying to rebuild his ship alongside more ships, and Buntaro helps him pull the rope.
Because, and I'm assuming it's because they both understand that they're both suffering the loss of Mariko, so best to just set differences aside.
So I'm assuming that's going to be a relationship that we're going to be focusing on in Season 2. Because Season 2 is going to be based on completely new shit, basically. Because the first book is the only book that it was adapted from. And you were like, okay, maybe they can make more. That was 50 years ago. This isn't a Game of Thrones situation where the author is just lazy. It was meant to be one book.
More story is on the way. Don't worry.
I got 3 more books in me. Trust me. I can just rewrite the ending.
I will say, I was very much caught by surprise, because, the whole thing was that everyone thought that Toranaga was just admitting defeat and surrendering. And then at the end of that one episode, I think it was 8, when he tells Mariko that it's time for her part of the plan to start, and that he's not actually surrendering, he just needed to make it believable, and that's why he had his friend kill himself. I was like, no fucking way. Big reveal.
Well, he was sad because, his son. I mean, if my son died due to falling on a rock, I would be pretty sad too.
Is it sun?
Yeah, but
tomatoes?
I think it was always his plot to actually try and make a different move than just surrendering.
Yeah, and that's why he needed Mariko to stay alive. Of course, please, can I kill myself tonight? No, you idiot. You're still useful to me.
Really smacked that blade out of her hand. He's like, get out of here with that shit.
And then he does the exact same thing to John, because he sees that the village is getting tortured and he kind of wants to kill himself because...
John was full on committed too. It was like not even a half an inch away from actually piercing his body.
And because I think he just wanted to not go through all this cat and mouse stuff. He's like, I want to die
and be with Mariko.
Yeah, and then he's like, nope, you're still useful to me. Don't be stupid. I'm not done using you.
Also, he does get a closer bond with Fuji-sama.
Okay.
John does.
Yeah.
Because She still has her.
Well, she's leaving.
Yeah, she's gonna go become a nun, but she still has her husband and infants' remains in their urns. She's holding on to them because she just can't let go.
I kind of wish we spent a little bit more time with her. We had so much going on.
She was just a consort, and he had really no use for her.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why she just, they're just like, she'll just be off.
I was kind of like, really, you're requesting her to stay, dude?
I think the reason that he wanted her to stay is just because
he doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Well, he has Buntaro. He can be bunkmates.
He doesn't really like Buntaro.
They'll learn to like each other. Maybe this will become a gay romance next season.
Gay romance?
Nah, man.
The weirder stuff is that would be a wild turn for this to take. We both love the same woman. And now she's gone. She left us.
Now we love the same pussy.
Oh no!
There's gonna be fan art of that.
No.
Buntaro, I betted your wife twice, and I do apologize.
And now you can bet me. So I really enjoyed the show, but in terms of questions, what was your favorite character?
You want to start?
Yeah,
John Blackthorne.
John Blackthorne.
Why you say like John Blackthorne?
John Blackthorne.
Speak up.
My favorite character.
John Blackthorne.
And why?
Because he had me kicking my feet and giggling.
Did you have like a?
That was the only interesting part to me.
Because you thought he was hot. Or you were just so entranced by his words.
My favorite character was Ishido's general, who got absolutely obliterated by a cannon.
That guy was just chill. Like he was just there to like, hey.
He was like, okay, Yabushige, let's discuss this. Boom.
God.
Now he's missing both legs and an arm.
And then he gets his neck slit. Yabushiki is my favorite. And it's sad that he's dead now because he was a big source of comedic relief in this show. And now he's dead.
I will say I do really like John Blackthorne. However, I think my favorite was Toranaga. I was completely taken aback by Toranaga ever since his first appearance on screen with that fucking falcon.
Oh yeah.
That was so awesome.
And it comes full circle by the end of the show.
When he lets it go,
mm-hmm.
He says, "You need."
If the show ended here, I would have been satisfied. For the most part, because you can assume what happens.
Yeah, because
especially since we flash forward to John in his deathbed.
Yeah, and so when he takes Fuji to go release her ashes into the ocean, and he throws Mariko's rosary in as well, I'm just wondering where he gets the new rosary. I guess he just gets a random one from somewhere. Because that's what he's holding on his deathbed.
Maybe he gets Buntaros.
Stop. Stop.
Maybe he's a Christian too.
I don't think Buntaro is as involved with the church as Mariko was.
But we'll continue talking about Toranaga. I think he's a fascinating character.
He is very, very fascinating. And to learn about that background stuff of him being a warlord as a 12-year-old boy.
And people were saying, oh, he's always been playing tricks.
Who was the cuck?
Yabushige.
Okay.
The traitor.
Oh, the traitor.
Yeah, he was a traitor.
Oh, I didn't catch any of that.
Oh. What? He was playing both sides.
That was a major part of the show. At least
he would say that he was doing something for Toranaga, and then he would go report to Ishido, and vice versa.
I only cared when John or Mark was on screen.
Listen, whenever they stop speaking English, her brain
shuts
off.
No.
It kind of sounds
Marco's not
like
always in English.
She's like, oh, John Blackthorne. He's doing English stuff, and then the Japanese people would be on screen, and she's just like,
it has nothing to do with race. You think I care about a bunch of old men fighting? No.
There was young men fighting too.
And women.
Oh, yeah, the ones slipping on rocks and killing themselves.
You tried, okay? You didn't like his character arc?
And the cannon fodder.
My favorite scene was, honestly, for how it was set up and how shocking it was Nathakata's death. Because the way it happened, the way it was funny, but also sad at the same time, is like, holy shit. Like, you don't expect that to happen. And the way that this show, like, solemnly leaves you on that.
Yeah, because he was literally about to give the death blow to the half-brother.
Mm-hmm.
and
like,
whoop!
Well, I mean, I guess that helped the cause. Do we have any problems that we want to discuss? Last time we did an ending of a show, we were, like, ranting about it because of how bad the ending was. I will say, I'm excited for season 2, but I'm, like, optimistically cautious because of how Game of Thrones left. That's exactly when you know, like, okay, the writer of X-Men Origins Wolverine is back up in charge. He's back, baby.
No, I didn't have any issues with the writing in the show. There were some parts that I was kind of memeing on while we were watching it because some
John
stuff
Blackthorne.
Yeah, we were just like doing voiceovers of certain scenes just to make fun of certain things that were happening. But
I mean, John is pretty easily made. There's a reason why he's not nominated for Best Actor at the Emmys.
Hey!
What do you? He's ridiculous.
Be nice.
I'm being nice. There's a reason.
Touch. Die.
R.I.P. Gardner.
Yeah, well, he didn't do anything wrong.
And then he also gets blamed for being the spy.
Oh yeah, we get the scene of him revealing that he is the spy and he's doing perfect English now, or perfect Portuguese, but in us because you know us white people, we can't have everyone speaking subtitles, so the Portuguese is translated into English for our viewing pleasure.
Oh man.
I mean, again, I feel like they could have made the actual scenes within the Regency and the Council a little bit more compelling for me personally. But I think everything with the conflict, Toranaga, Yabushige, as well as the John plot, all three of those I think are strong and are compelling and remind me of peak Game of Thrones in terms of conflict, drama, and actually setting up realistic expectations and punishments for characters. No one is invincible in this show. And it's believable why people survive. And I'm going to give this show... Do I give it an 8 or a 9? That's the question.
Or split the difference.
Well,
8.5.
do I believe in 0.5s, though?
Oh, come on. Don't be that guy.
Like, okay, if I'm rating this on Letterboxd, like, there's
0.5s.
I guess I would round it up to a 9. That would be a 9. No, Madison. So
what?
And okay, let's just say a 4.5, right?
4.5.
Times 2. What is that?
9.
So that's the 0.5. It counts as a whole number. Anyway, I guess it's a 9. Because it rounds up, baby.
I also give the show a 9. I thought it was very, very well rounded. And obviously nothing can ever be a 10. There's no such thing as a 10.
Just stuff that can be really close. Perfectly executed.
I have yet to see anything.
What's the closest?
Out of stuff that I've seen?
Yeah. Okay,
I've seen a lot of shit, man. So that's going to take a few years for me to think about.
Okay, you're good.
A few years. What's the
Madison.
first thing that comes to mind?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
And then we have Madison.
Your score.
Well, it's not going to be a fair rating because all I cared about was John and Mariko.
Well, just say your honest opinion.
7.
Well, seems high for what you were talking, but I'm gonna accept it.
7.
Moving on.
So the Emmy nominations came out, and Shogun cleaned ass by being nominated the most out of any show, even The Bear season 2, and so out of the major categories, it got nominated for Best Drama Series, for Best Leading Actor for Hiroki Sanada. And if you don't know what else he's done before this, he was in Mortal Kombat as Scorpion, and he's been doing roles for years. In like The Last Samurai, he was in Endgame. He was in a lot of stuff. So good for him. He got his leading role, and he's probably gonna win because he was really good in the show. Unless I see something that's better.
Who was he in Endgame?
He was the guy that Hawkeye killed in the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
He was also in John Wick Chapter 4.
I have not seen that, so I wouldn't know.
We have Best Lead Actress, Anna Sawai, for Mariko, deserved. And we have 2 people for Best Supporting Actor, Tabanu Asano, who's Yabushiki, and Takahiro Hira for Ishido. Why is he nominated? I love Shogun and everything, but you don't need to nominate 2 actors in supporting. Also,
yeah, I mean, Ishido didn't really have, like, comparably, like, Yabushike had way more screen time than Ishido.
I would be sad if he lost.
If Yabushige lost?
Well, yeah, Asano. It also got nominated for directing for Crimson Sky, episode 9, as well as writing for that episode and the first episode. I would say that's the tensest episode of the season. That works. I'm happy, but it's time for our favorite part of the episode. It's time to spin that.
We didn't talk about Kiki.
We do that after.
Yeah, it's TV shows. Because we finished the TV show.
Okay.
See, Madison had a brain fart. But we are going to suggest TV shows. If you don't know how this works, the TV shows that we already talked about that have other seasons are always going to be on the wheel until they get picked. In that case, it's Fargo Season 3 and Xavier Renegade Angels Season 2. Man, it's been so long since we experienced that majesty. Oh, boy. So, we have my suggestion. I'm going to recommend Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the new Amazon Prime series. It's 1 season, but it is getting a season 2, and I heard good buzz about it. Then we have Justin.
Barry.
The Bill Hader extravaganza.
Yeah.
And Madison, so she gets 2 suggestions. We have our regular suggestion, and we also have a chaos pick where we get either a really shitty or a really wacky show, and we force ourselves to watch the first couple episodes of it. So
my regular show,
regular
Mordecai,
show,
would be Always Sunny, and then for my wild card, I'm going to pick Black Mirror.
I feel like that should be reversed a little bit.
No,
because Always Sunny is
because
like a wacky
of the
show.
Yeah, but because of the episode that it is for Black Mirror, it's going in the chaos pick.
So,
because sadly, it is the pig episode. So
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
So
this is the worst thing I've ever done for this podcast.
So we're not doing elimination for this. The first show that gets picked is the show that we watch. So let us spin.
You've got a 33% chance on this, just so you know.
Spin that wheel. We are watching the first 2 episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Hell yeah!
There you go. You got your win. You happy?
First 2 episodes. So that is The Gang Gets Racist and yeah, it's a great pilot episode. And Always Sunny. What's the second episode? Oh, the last episode is Charlie gets molested. Charlie wants an abortion.
Freddy got figured.
So, a lot of Charlie episodes this season. Jesus Christ, there's.
We're watching 2 episodes.
All right. 1 and 2.
We don't have to.
She's so
I know you're
excited.
obsessed with It's Always Sunny.
She's so happy that she actually got a win. It's been.
Thank you.
It's been over
Wheel.
8 months.
Now let's see if my movie gets. It's gonna be a really good episode if we're watching Always Sunny and Step Brothers.
If you're gonna see me get angry, maybe.
Oh, I'm going to have a field day.
So,
Alright, speaking of movies.
So we watched the movie this week.
It's Kiki's delivery service.
Could
Directed
not
by
have delivered that with
Les
any
Dustin.
yeah.
The movie was Kiki's
Yes.
delivery service.
Kiki's delivery service.
Directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Our like 6th movie for the show, directed by him. And our last Ghibli film was The Incarnation of Depression. So it's only fair to balance it out that this movie is a very, very wholesome and cute. And I mean, started out, I really enjoyed this. It was a nice little it was like a dinner mint. You had a hearty. It was like a hearty meal, and you get or a light dessert. It's very cute, very wholesome, especially after watching Shogun. A very nice change of pace.
Well, I did it the opposite this week. I watched this, and then I watched all of Shogun.
It's like the Barbenheimer effect. So, I mean, how do we really want to go through a basic what is the concept of the movie?
All
There's
right.
not really
Well,
much to it. It's just
you say that there is no story to this movie.
It's like a loose skeleton of a concept.
All right.
And we just go with it.
So we got Kiki, and then she has she's a witch, and she's 13, and she has a little black cat that is her best friend, and his name is Gigi, and he talks, but only to her, because she's magic, so of course that's how that works. Anyone who's not magic cannot hear the fucking cat. All they hear is meows.
And I'll watch the dub, by the way.
Yes, we watched the dub version.
Because they chose the dub, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta follow up with them.
We always do the dub, Max.
You can always try the sub.
We're not gonna do that, Max.
And why is that?
Because we don't really like to read while we watch.
Well,
We had to do that for Shogun.
I came here for a movie, not a book.
Yeah.
sad.
Sad.
I'm not trying to make my brain more gooder, okay?
I read plenty of books.
Playboy.
Play.
Alright, so the whole premise with this witch thing is that when they turn 13, they decide to go out and live by themselves somewhere for a year in order to hone a skill or a trade of some sort. So that's what Kiki wants to do. Decides to fly away from home, says goodbye to her family, and she goes and finds this city that kind of has San Francisco vibes to it.
It kind of seems like German, though. Like European. Like a village.
I could see it being a mixture. I got the San Francisco vibes because of the
It's not a real place.
Yeah, obviously. There's witches in it.
Well, there's no witches in the town when she shows up either.
When she shows up, nobody's really super. It doesn't seem like people are super excited that she's there. She's like, "Hi, I'm a witch," and one old lady's just like, "Oh, that's nice, dear," and then she just quickly walks away.
I mean, if you saw an actual witch in real life, she's like, "Hi, I'm a witch. I can fly.
If I saw somebody flying in on a broom,
If I look,
Like, it's not like
if
the
I'm
Craft
walking,
where it's like real, like realistic people, and then you do like voodoo. It's like a person comes in on like a fucking broom.
yeah, you would think that these people see witches like every fucking day in their lives. Dude, if I see a witch flying around on a broom in real life, I'm checking myself into a mental institution that same day. Because what the hell?
But I mean, I don't know if it's like an adorable little girl, and she's like, "Hi, I'm here," and like I'm a witch, and you, what would your reaction be? You'd
they
be
just
like,
all seemed annoyed by her.
I'd be like, okay,
like, "Get the
Halloween.
fuck out of my way. I
Halloween
gotta
was
go to work."
about 10 months ago.
Oh, but she just hopped off her broom. She's flying. That's not flying. It's falling.
Okay.
With style.
Then my other thought would be, damn, that edible really went hard.
But the whole idea of her going to the city is to find her gift, and she decides her gift is flying, so she decides to make a delivery service, and that's basically the movie. Her being in this town, getting connections, while also doing her job delivering packages.
And during that time, she also meets a young lad who constantly tries to get her attention.
Surprising lack of magic or witch-related things in this movie.
Yeah,
I kind of like that, though.
I guess that's more her mom's role. Her mom does the
Yeah.
potion stuff.
It's less
She's the
about
flying.
witchcraft and
Yeah.
more about
She summons her spirit
the
energy.
adventure.
It's literally her trying to find herself. That's the whole point of the year.
Yeah,
trip.
I like that, like, sort of like message and theme of going out, discovering yourself, and following your passions, but not working yourself to the bone, because that's mainly like she's just going around delivering packages to the point where she's like hurting her like life and her personal relationships, and that's why she loses her powers.
Damn.
Like a lack of balance in her life, like just like Spider-Man 2.
And
I mentioned this already.
and
Piece of
just
time.
just think though, they had that message in an animated children's movie in 1989, and it's 35 years later, and we still have not learned a goddamn thing.
We're having 4-day work weeks now.
Yeah, now that didn't start very long ago. So one of her first real interactions, is there's a woman who really wants to return a pacifier to this woman so that her baby doesn't start crying on their way home and annoy the fuck out of the lady. So Kiki offers to take the pacifier to the woman because she can reach her a lot faster because she's got her broom, and obviously she can just fly a straight path instead of this woman having to go down 80 stairs. And 35 hills. So she delivers it, and then she comes back, and the woman's like, hey, I have an idea.
You can stay in my house.
Yeah.
If you deliver packages.
And help me run the bakery every once in a while. So
basically just being a nice Samaritan.
yeah.
Unlike A Grave of Fireflies, where everyone was a
You're-
fucking dick.
I mean, there's a lot of dicks in this movie.
They were more annoyed rather than being a dick. Actually, no, there's a couple
Yeah, that cop.
rude ass
The
people.
cop,
The cop at the
other
start.
witch,
The cop at the
The-
start because
The lady's nephew or niece
niece, yeah.
that gets the pie.
Ugh, I hate grandma's pies.
the cop who tells Kiki that Kiki almost causes an accident when she first gets to the city. And the cop says, hey, there's rules and regulations for flying around here. And I'm
never seen a
like,
witch before.
bro, how the fuck do y'all have laws about flying? This is
Well-
like the first witch you've seen in how fucking long?
I mean, you've seen a witch before. You might have to make a law for it. It's not like the law disappears after 200 years. It's still there.
Oh my god.
And the movie is just wholesome vibes. So like she's doing these deliveries. She messes up. It's like a bunch of little mini stories within one major thing. And all wraps up in a sort of a nice, neat bow. So we have this relationship between her and the boy.
Tombo.
Tombo, yeah.
Tombo.
Toto? We're not in Kansas anymore.
Tombo.
Tombo, who fucking dresses like Waldo.
And is really into her. Is like, wow,
he's honestly
you're
dripped
so
out.
cool. And
no, he is not.
He's kind of dripped out.
Dude, you're so cool. And
For
she's
a
like,
nerd.
well, you're a boy, so I can't talk to you unless I formally introduce myself to you.
Yeah, she's very much old-fashioned. She's like, it's rude for you to try and talk to someone when you haven't even been introduced to them. Well, how the fuck are you supposed to let him introduce himself if he can't talk to you?
I think it's just more the fact that it's a young boy, and she's going, oh, you're a witch.
Hell yeah.
And that's the funny thing, too, because before she even left, she was in her house with her parents, and she was talking to her cat Gigi about how she might meet a boy, and she's interested in boys. And now there's a boy,
well, I think
and she's like,
well, I'm too good for boys. That's a teenage brat
For
you.
real, we don't need boys. That's what are you talking about? That's me now.
Goodbye. Anyway, it's now the Max and Justin show. We don't need any girls around here.
Cooties.
oh, women, am I right?
Asking for
Oh
directions.
my god, it turned into an alpha podcast.
In order to become a true alpha, you need to claim dog.
Have you been watching Andrew Tate, bro?
Yeah. You know, Cuties is actually not pedophilia.
Anyway.
It's about strong, non-woke agenda.
I watched my girl take another man.
Out of a podcast.
Back to Kiki.
Shout out to Sneeko.
We should get the bathrobe back out to give him PTSD.
Bathroom.
Whoo.
Okay.
Those aren't clips.
They are mags. Anyway, let's get back to Kiki, not human feces.
What?
Alright.
I fucked that up.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Back to Kiki.
It's just a wholesome movie.
Yeah, and then a blimp explodes right at the end of the movie.
So they needed something to, like, a big exciting set piece for some reason. They couldn't have just had her, like, you know, slowly, like, come to grips with her work and lifestyle. No, it's like,
Yeah,
oh my god, there's a blimp.
Just for context, at one point she starts noticing that she's like losing her abilities to fly, and she also cannot understand Gigi anymore, and she's like, "What the fuck, bro?"
I'm losing my witchiness.
Actual quote, by the way. So she keeps trying to fly her broom, and it's just not working. And then there's a woman that she met earlier in the film who lives out, the crow lady, who lives out in a cabin in the woods, and she's a painter.
I love her character.
She comes to visit and tells her maybe she just needs to take a break, kind of like a writer's block situation going on.
I love that message for kids and young adults.
So she invites her to just stay out of the cabin for a night.
To paint her, and also, you know.
Yeah.
Just to chill out. Older sister vibes.
Yeah, just to relax and get away from everything for a bit. That seems to work. Cause
I mean, kinda. Well, I mean, like, she's just doing her thing.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that when she's going to another wholesome scene, so she helps this old lady earlier in the movie make a pie, and delivers it to a granddaughter, and
Ungrateful granddaughter.
And she invites her over later, and she gives her a cake. and like so, and then the scene where she's like crying because like she's never had like this amount of kindness towards her before, and then turns around, she has just a beaming smile, asking to return the favor. It's really wholesome, and then 1 minute later, oh, breaking news, and we see like wartime.
Your fucking boyfriend is dying on this blimp that crashed.
Yeah, you better go and save him. And then she steals like a dust broom and she saves the day.
Yeah, steals a dust broom from a guy who looks kind of like Super Mario.
The ending was the worst part of the movie.
All of that with the blimp literally happens in the last 7 minutes of the movie. And it's just like, what the fuck?
You were so close to just having like this nice smell. I guess they needed to have something happen that was like, the kids are getting bored. We need to have an action scene.
Oh, God.
Besides that, I think the movie is quite delightful.
And then it officially ends with like we see her parents back at their house, and they get a letter from her, and she's explaining that everything's going good. They never explain if she's gonna be able to talk to Gigi again. By the way, he's just a normal cat now.
He has babies.
Yeah,
that's what being a dad does.
He got a female cat pregnant.
He grown up,
and now he just meows. He don't talk no more.
Well, I mean, we don't see, because she has her witch powers back. We never see them interact again.
Well, he gets on her shoulder and he says meow. In the crowd.
Well, whatever. What was your favorite scenes? The whole movie is just one big vibe, but like,
I like the art cabin.
I like that whole like a really nice message to bring to kids.
My favorite scenes were the interactions between Gigi and the dog that was in the house that she made her first delivery to.
That was so cute.
Because he had to, for context, he had to pretend to be a little stuffed cat toy that was going to be the first delivery.
How convenient.
Yeah. Because she is flying, upsets a bunch of crows, and the toy falls out of the little cage that it was in.
And then they steal it and then bring it to the crow lady.
Yeah. So she has to go find it, and in the meantime, she's like, you just be a decoy, sit perfectly still, don't ever move, and just be this child's toy for the next several hours while I look for this thing.
It's convenient how stupid this child is.
Oh yeah, this child who is voiced by Bobby Hill. I think his name is Ket. Ket, turn the TV off.
Oh. Ket, turn the TV off right now.
Okay, Mom. Terrible Bobby Hill impression.
Okay, Mom.
I'm okay, Mom.
Don't steal my purse.
I don't know you.
Maybe we should recommend King of the Hill sometime.
Oh,
I hadn't seen that show in years, and season 1 might even like be a mystery. I just know that he loves some propane grills.
Yeah, and hates well done meat.
I hate it as well. It's just dry. I mean, we can talk about our meat preferences on the podcast. I think it's perfectly relevant.
I have always been a well done burger kind of guy.
As long as it's not dry. If it's nice and juicy.
Yeah, if it's juicy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not
the way that my parents have been, like, they always like want things like Sahara desert levels to kill anything.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like.
Lately, I've been venturing out, and I will get medium well.
Okay. I mean, you're stepping your tippy toes in.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about steak?
I don't know. I mean, we could also talk about one of my closest friends. Every time we go out to eat and he orders a burger, you know what he asks for?
Oh.
Bloody.
He tells them, he's like, have them do it.
Just
he's like the least amount that you are legally allowed to cook it.
That's unhinged behavior.
It is.
Like, we had a barbecue about like a month ago, and we undercooked the burgers a little bit, but they were like It was like medium rare.
Yeah.
In comparison, like that's just mooing.
And nobody died or got sick, so we're all fine.
Yeah, as long as it's cooked.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about those burgers.
Anywho,
It's a Bubba burger.
I guess we should. Or should we just do the rating now for this, or
Any funny things that you want to comment on? Any scenes?
I just keep going back to the dog thing. He thought that dog was going to eat his ass. Well, his entire body, not just his ass, but he literally is like sweating anytime that the child leaves him alone with this dog.
That was so cute. That entire scene. This movie is just positive vibes, okay? Until the end. Hindenburg.
The little boy is holding on for dear life.
I mean, if the movie didn't have that, and it was like a nice solid, like, I would say like another 10, maybe 15 minutes of just like, slowly mellowing us out into the ending, maybe. But I mean, it was rushed as hell. Any funny scenes you want to comment on, Madison?
Oh, the cows licking the feet.
Oh my god.
Madison.
She gets her foot licked on the train in the beginning, and then she wakes up. She wakes up, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And she sticks her head down there and sees the cows, and they're just looking at her like, "What the fuck are you?"
It's funny. I'm Dan Schneider.
Bruh.
At this point, feet are funny, okay? I love how that's the thing that you bring up. Out of all the scenes in the movie, that's your one contribution.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Do you want to talk about the other witch that she meets in the beginning that is serving
that
cunt?
No, fuck that bitch. This is arrogant asshole.
The city is big for you, but it's totally fine for me.
Yeah, fuck you.
So we can give ratings. So, I'm going to give
8
this
out of 10.
movie, for what it's going for, besides literally just that last scene.
Actually,
the ending is just kind of maybe a little bit too weak for me. I'm between a 7 and an 8.
I'm gonna give it a nice crisp 7.5.
Well, that rounds up to an 8 on Letterboxd. Or 4 stars, whatever. I don't know if I'm leaning more towards a 7 or an 8. The ending, if the ending was better, I'll go with a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been an 8 if the ending was better.
4 stars?
Okay.
For 7.5?
That rounds up. Okay.
So, out of the Ghibli movies we've watched, it's more like towards the top, I guess. Definitely above Grave of the Fireflies.
Well, that movie is different. I don't think it's better than Grave of the Fireflies.
I do.
That's because
and also above Totoro.
I think this movie it's more pleasant vibes than Totoro.
Oh my god, why?
This review for Kiki's delivery service?
Kiki, do you love me? Are you writing?
It's Tombo.
Well,
Tombo is Drake confirmed.
Yeah. Certified lover boy, certified pedophile.
Alright, so I guess we move on to The Wheel.
Yes, so...
Let's go! Let's make it a Madison week!
So the next Ghibli movie that's going to be on the wheel is another Takahata joint, because we loved Grave of the Firefly so much. It's Only Yesterday, about the struggles of growing up. No,
Will we cry this time?
It's only slice of life, no fantasy.
Okay.
So, My suggestion for the wheel is so I originally was going to do Beetlejuice because of Beetlejuice, but we got time. Wizard of Oz is my suggestion. The original one from 1937.
Sorry. I had an energy drink earlier. It just slipped.
So, Madison.
Yes.
What's your suggestion?
Step Brothers.
Fuck you. Okay, so Justin, you get 2 picks this week. You get a wild card pick, or chaos pick, I mean, and you get your actual pick. So,
all right. So for my actual pick, I'm going with Snowpiercer. Fucking banger of a movie.
I'm still surprised that you're suggesting this because you did not like Parasite that much.
No. Well, Parasite just didn't really grab a hold of me.
Yeah, it didn't have any English in it.
That's not why. That is not why.
This movie has English in it.
All right, I can admit for Parasite...
That does not make sense.
For Parasite, that scene where he stabs the dude at the end goes kind of hard. But no, that's not why. Anywho, Snowpiercer is an action film.
It's also a mystery.
So, you know, things go boom, people be dying.
All right.
And I'm like, oh yeah.
I can't wait for Mickey 17 next year.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho, movie about clones. Let's go.
All right. So my chaos pick.
He's been laughing about this all day.
My chaos pick is going to be Borat.
It's not bad. I thought it was going to be way worse than that.
Well, because it's, depending on how you look at it, viewed as kind of an offensive movie.
On purpose. So, we got our wheel. We got our 5 options. We're doing elimination style, baby.
I have a 40% chance. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
To lose. Okay, the first movie eliminated is Snowpiercer.
Fuck!
I would have liked to see Snowpiercer.
Me too.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock.
I wouldn't have wanted to see Snowpiercer, so maybe it's my week.
And why is that?
I don't know.
And Borat is next.
Double fuck.
Well, you were...
Let's go!
You see how I'm not asking for a retry?
I didn't see you go a year without getting your pick.
Okay.
Let's fucking go, dude.
I'm... Takahata, please. Somebody save me. We were watching Only Yesterday.
Fucking Ghibli. When are we running out of the Ghibli movies?
We got 20 more.
How many?
20 more.
Oh my god.
Plenty.
Well, okay, let me actually get a definitive number. Not Chibi, Ghibli.
Chibi.
Why are you upset?
Because this is 2 weeks in a row of Ghibli.
Would you rather?
I thought
Step Brothers?
Yes.
How many times have you seen that movie?
Enough.
Way.
Because it's good.
Way many.
So
Way many.
we got.
I watch it at least once a year.
So we need to watch Porco Rosso, which is about the pig in the airplane. Pompoko, the raccoons with their nutsacks.
What?
Whisper of the Heart, which is about country roads, Take Me Home. Princess Mononoke, which won Best Picture in Japan. My Neighbors the Yamadas. We already seen Spirited Away, but the episode was a prototype, so we'll talk about it.
Oh my god.
The Cat Returns, which is a sequel to Whisper of the Heart. Howl's Moving Castle. Tales from Earthsea from director Miyazaki's son. We already seen Ponyo. The Secret Life of Arietti. That's 8. Up on Poppy Hill. The Wind Rises, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, When Marnie was there. That's 12 more movies. We got plenty of material. Unless we want to count the... Oh!
Are those just Miyazaki?
No, that's Ghibli. That's.
Can we narrow it down to just Miyazaki?
No. And then we also have Ocean Waves, which is a TV movie, and Earwig and the Witch, which we gotta include, right? you wanted to watch it, episode 1.
There's too many.
What do you mean there's too many?
There's too many.
It's not often that we're going to be doing 2 weeks in a row. I hope you realize this.
Yes, there is.
It's
got the same amount of chance as everything else.
Yeah, it's not often that we're... When was the last time we got 2 Ghibli movies in a row? When we forced it to be 2 Ghibli movies in a row. The odds of this happening are very low. And it happened anyway, despite all the odds. And this is a completely different vibe to what the movie was this week.
This is bullshit.
You get to experience Takahata teach you about the joys of womanhood.
I have been Madisoned this week.
Well, she finally got her pick. Everyone congratulate Madison for finally getting a pick.
I get
after
Always
8 months.
Sunny. And I'm going to talk everyone's ears off.
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah, because you were so silent this episode.
I didn't have much to say.
Yeah,
Cute movie. Hot TV show.
Oh yeah, all the sex scenes.
I wasn't talking about the sex scenes.
Oh,
Except the one.
Dennis.
And the 2.
the 1 and the 2. Well, thank you, everyone. Justin is very upset. He's actually seething from his anger so much that he is laying down now.
Is he asking for a recount?
No, he's a man about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe if you were more of a woman about your picks, maybe.
Maybe if you weren't sexist.
Oh.
Now you're a Mario! Mario!
Flashback.
The worst movie.
The best movie.
Is it better? Is it worse than Scooby-Doo 2?
No.
Sausage Party isn't a 1 out of 10.
No, that's a half a star out of 10.
No,
Wait, which would
out of 5. So that's 0.5 stars out of 5. That's 1 out of 10.
Jewish bagels.
It's not a 1 out of 10.
It's
racist, but
yeah, racist stereotypes.
I put it at like a 6.5.
that's
Too high.
It's a bit too high.
All right, 6.
If the movie started as like a proto kids movie, and then the first time they swore is when the food got killed, it would have worked better.
You know why I put it as a 6?
Why?
Simply because
Is it
when
Big Mouth?
No. Fuck Big Mouth.
Nick Kroll's the villain.
Simply because when it came out, despite all of the warnings
And all the abuse of the animators.
there was... Oh, that has nothing to do with this. Despite all of the warnings for the trailers in the movie, there were still plenty of people who took their small children to go see this movie.
Because people are fucking idiots.
So I'm like, yes, good. Have a bad time. Let your children experience horrible things that they should not be seeing.
Did you remember,
And this is your fault.
Do you remember the story about Finding Dory and they accidentally played the restricted trailer to this film?
No, I didn't hear that at all, but that's funny as fuck.
Seth Rogen thought it was funny. On his awful Twitter account. It's fine to have your car stolen.
Yeah, I'll take.
Santa Inc. is actually a good show. You can only pirate that now.
He just needs to keep making his faces, please.
Yeah.
And not.
How about keep
His faces are really good.
keep
They're really cool looking.
keep making the boys an invincible, and we're good. I think he's working on something else, but like keep producing.
Oh, he produces those shows.
Yeah, he does. I know he's also producing something
Oh yeah,
else.
he did have a voice role in
Invincible.
Invincible.
But I mean, like, keep being behind the scenes. If you want to make another stoner comedy, then that's fine. But add something new next time.
let her have her moment before it gets brutally ripped away from her next week when she loses again.
No, so we're Always Sunny, right?
Asshole.
We have to say, oh, we don't want to continue with this in order for it to be taken away. And I don't see that actually happening unless
I
it's
want
actual
to continue
dog shit.
with it.
Unless it's actual,
I'm
like,
saying
the worst
that already.
show. Like
Max,
if I recommend, like, Velma as the wild card and it gets picked, we're only watching for the 2 episodes.
Max, I'm gonna let you in on
I'm
a
only
little...
watching 1 episode if that gets picked. I don't give a fuck.
No, you're gonna watch 2.
No,
I'm gonna
I
let
can't.
you in.
We'll watch it together.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here, Max.
Yeah.
She has been watching It's Always Sunny on repeat for the last couple years now.
Well, she
So
I
I-
talk about it.
More
So
than a
by
decade.
proxy,
Actually, no, about a decade at this point.
I have already watched most of It's Always Sunny, and on multiple occasions
You
at that
haven't
point.
seen most of Always Sunny.
I probably have at this point.
Not
'cause of
just
you.
through me.
Yeah, just through you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You literally let it play.
Name
Like,
1
play
episode
through.
from this most recent season.
The episode where Dennis, his fucking electric
Son of
car
a-
is not working and he wants to kill the CEO of the car company
And he does kill the CEO of the car company.
in a dream sequence.
Was it a dream?
It's a dream sequence.
That's how the episode ends. So
I
you
have
don't
no
even know.
context
dream
for any of
sequence.
this.
It's a
The-
fantasy for him.
Anybody who watches Always Sunny. That was a good episode.
Spoilers.
That's probably the most famous episode from the season.
Yeah. This season was only like, what, 8 episodes or something?
Point
We're
is
getting
that
kinda weak
we're
with
watching the first 2 episodes of It's Always Sunny, which I hear is bad. The first season. Next week, and also Only Yesterday, which Justin is not too happy about because his chaos pick and his actual pick have been
Snub.
Well, good. We can watch it evolve. Always Sunny. It'll be good and healing.
it's possible. If
Possible.
Justin says no and I hate it, then that is 2 votes.
And I'll leave.
'Cause it sounds like he's
leave
gonna-
the podcast. I won't do that.
Because it sounds like he's already leaning no.
This is bullshit.
It will be our first impeachment.
Toranaga's been impeached.
I'm gonna go slip on a rock now.